What's happening, comic book family? We're back with another episode, and let me tell you something. If you're not subscribed yet, today's the day you're going to want to hit that button, because we're about to dive into some casting news that's going to change everything you thought you knew about the future of Marvel and DC. I'm talking about casting decisions that had Kevin Feige's phone blowing up, choices that made James Gunn completely restructure his entire DC timeline, and announcements that literally broke the internet twice this week. And here's the crazy part. Most people are completely missing the bigger picture of what these casting choices actually mean. Hold up. Before we get started, I need you to do me a favor. Pause this video right now, look at your notification bell, and if it's not turned on, smash it. Because what I'm about to tell you is going to make you want to be the first person to know when the next bombshell drops. Here's what nobody's talking about. 3 of the casting announcements from this week aren't just filling roles. They're setting up crossover events that won't happen for another 5 years. I'm not even joking. By the end of this video, you're going to see these casting choices in a completely different light, and you're going to understand why certain actors said no to these roles, and why the ones who said yes are about to become the biggest stars on the planet. And if you stick around until the end, I'm going to share some insider information about a casting choice that hasn't been announced yet, but is already causing drama behind the scenes. Before we jump into the individual announcements, we need to talk about something that's happening right now that most channels aren't covering. Both Marvel and DC are making casting decisions not just for individual movies, but for storylines that span the next decade. Think about it. When Marvel cast Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man in 2008, they weren't just casting him for one movie. They were casting the foundation of a 23-film saga that would make over $22 billion. Every single casting choice we're talking about today has that same potential. Marvel's power moves. Fantastic 4 first steps. The game changer. Let's start with the elephant in the room. Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. He's too old, he doesn't fit the comic look. Where's John Krasinski? But here's what Marvel knows that we're just figuring out. Pedro Pascal isn't just playing Reed Richards. He's being positioned as the new Tony Stark of the MCU. Think about it. Charismatic leader, brilliant scientist, father figure energy, and the acting chops to carry emotional weight. Marvel learned from the Infinity Saga that you need an actor who can anchor multiple franchises, and Pascal has already proven he can do that with The Mandalorian and The Last of Us. But here's the kicker. Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm isn't just inspired casting, it's strategic casting. Kirby has been Marvel's secret weapon, and they've been planning this for years. She's got the dramatic range from The Crown, the action experience from Mission Impossible, and the chemistry with Pascal that's going to make their relationship the emotional core of the next phase. Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm? Brilliant. He's got the young, cocky energy from Stranger Things, but more importantly, he's got the fan base that's going to bring in the younger demographic that Marvel needs to replace the audience they lost after Endgame. And Ebon Moss-Bachrach as the Thing? This is where Marvel is playing 4D chess. They needed someone who could bring humor and heart to Ben Grimm. And if you've seen The Bear, you know this guy can make you laugh and cry in the same scene. Ralph Ineson voicing Galactus is the move that tells us Marvel is thinking cosmic. Galactus isn't just the villain of this movie. He's being set up as the Thanos-level threat for the next saga. Ineson's voice work in The Witch proves he can make cosmic horror feel personal and terrifying. Captain America: Brave New World. The risk that's about to pay off. So, Shira Haas as Sabra is the casting choice that's causing the most drama online, but honestly, it's also the smartest move Marvel has made in years. Here's why. Marvel isn't just adapting Sabra from the comics, they're using her as a bridge between the political thriller elements that made Winter Soldier great and the international scope that the MCU needs to stay relevant globally. Haas brings authenticity and gravitas to a role that could have easily been, totally mishandled. She's not just playing a superhero, she's playing a character who represents real-world complexities that the MCU has been avoiding for way too long. Wonder Man, the sleeper hit. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II as Wonder Man is flying under the radar, but this casting is huge. Marvel is building Wonder Man as their answer to Superman, and Abdul-Mateen II has the physical presence and acting ability to really make it work. But here's what's really interesting. Ed Harris, Josh Gad, and Demetrius Gross joining the cast tells us this isn't just a superhero show. It's a Hollywood satire that's going to comment on celebrity culture and the entertainment industry. And Ben Kingsley returning as Trevor Slattery. That's Marvel telling us they're not afraid to revisit their mistakes and turn them into victories. The Mandarin storyline is about to come full circle in a way that's going to shock everyone. Thunderbolts, the dark horse. The Thunderbolts cast is stacked, but what's really exciting is what this team represents. Florence Pugh's Yelena Belova is carrying the emotional weight of the Black Widow legacy. Sebastian Stan's Bucky Barnes is finally getting the character development he deserves. David Harbour's Red Guardian gets to be more than comic relief. But the real star? Wyatt Russell's John Walker. This character was super divisive in Falcon and Winter Soldier, but Russell's performance was just undeniable. The Thunderbolts movie is going to rehabilitate John Walker in a way that's going to make him one of the most compelling characters in the MCU. DC's bold new direction. Superman Legacy, The Foundation. David Corenswet as Superman and Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane isn't just casting, it's a statement. James Gunn is saying, we're not trying to be the MCU, we're trying to be something better. Corenswet has the classical Superman look, but more importantly, he has the range to make Clark Kent feel like a real person. And Brosnahan? She's going to make Lois Lane the co-lead of this franchise, not just the love interest. Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor is inspired casting because Hoult can play both the charming public figure and the manipulative villain that modern Lex needs to be. Green Lantern Lanterns, The Redemption. Kyle Chandler as Hal Jordan and Aaron Pierre as John Stewart is DC saying, we learned from our mistakes. This isn't going to be another generic superhero origin story. This is True Detective with Green Lantern rings. Chandler brings the gravitas and experience that Hal Jordan needs, while Pierre represents the fresh energy that John Stewart deserves. This buddy cop dynamic in space is going to be DC's secret weapon. The bigger picture, what this all means. So, here's what's really happening. Both Marvel and DC are entering a new phase where casting matters more than ever. The days of casting based purely on looks or star power are over. Every choice is strategic. Every actor is being selected for their ability to carry franchises for the next decade. Marvel is casting for emotional resonance and character development. DC is casting for authenticity and dramatic weight. Both approaches are working, and both are setting up storylines that are going to pay off in ways we can't even imagine yet. Now, here's that exclusive information I promised. I've been hearing from my sources that there's been some serious drama behind the scenes with one major casting choice that hasn't been announced yet. Without getting too specific, let's just say that a certain A-list actor turned down a role that would have guaranteed them at least 4 movies and a Disney Plus series because they wanted creative control that the studio wasn't willing to give. This tells us that actors are starting to understand the long-term commitment that comes with these roles, and they're being more selective about which universe they want to be part of. If this video gave you new insights into these casting choices, if it changed your perspective on any of these announcements, or if you learned something new, I need you to absolutely smash that like button. Seriously, destroy it. Show YouTube that this is the kind of in-depth content that you want to see more of. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? I post new videos every single Friday with casting news, trailer breakdowns, and exclusive information that you won't find anywhere else. We're building something special here, and I want you to be part of it. Drop a comment below with your hottest take on these casting choices. Which announcement surprised you the most? Are you Team Pedro, Pascal, Reed Richards, or were you hoping for someone else? And more importantly, which of these movies or shows are you most excited to see? I read every single comment, and I often use your feedback to decide what videos to make next. Your opinions matter to me, and they matter to this channel. We're living in the golden age of comic book adaptations, but we're also at a crossroads. The decisions being made right now, the actors being cast today, are going to determine whether this genre continues to dominate entertainment for the next decade or whether audiences move on to something else. What gives me hope is seeing the thought and care that's going into these casting choices. Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards shows that Marvel is prioritizing emotional depth over surface-level comic accuracy. David Corenswet as Superman shows that DC is committed to honoring the character's legacy while bringing something fresh to the role. These aren't just actors putting on costumes, they're inheriting mythologies that have inspired people for generations. The pressure is immense, but the potential rewards are even greater. Every time we get excited about a casting announcement, every time we debate whether an actor is right for a role, every time we invest emotionally in these characters, we're participating in something bigger than entertainment. We're keeping these stories alive. We're ensuring that future generations will get to experience the same sense of wonder that we feel when we see our favorite heroes on screen. So whether you're Team Marvel, Team DC, or just Team Good Storytelling, remember that your passion is what makes all of this possible. Your enthusiasm is what convinces studios to invest hundreds of millions of dollars in these projects. Your voices are what shape the future of these franchises. The casting news we covered today is just the beginning. There are more announcements coming, more surprises in store, and more opportunities for these actors to prove that they were the right choice all along. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of this community. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.